Let's start our lesson on square and cube roots. So now we did before squaring and cubing numbers. So now the square root and the cube root is going to be the inverse operation of squaring and cubing. So let's get into it. So let's say, to make it very clear, I'm just thinking here, okay. I'm just thinking how I'm going to do this. Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to do my list first of square numbers that we have it here. We know that we have it here, but I'm going to write it here. So if I have 1 square, it's going to be, we know that it's going to be 1. 2 square, 4. 3 square, 9. 4 square, 16. 5 square, 25. 6 square, 36. 7 square, 49. 8 square, 64. 9 square, 81. 10 square, 100. I'm going to stop here. I could keep on going. Agree? Up to what I have here, but I could keep on going forever. Now, this is a square. Now, I just said that the opposite operation, the inverse operation of squaring is a square root. So what we do is, instead of going in this direction, we're going to go in that direction, going backwards. So now when I'm doing a square root, now I'm going to do this direction. So what I have to do is, what is the square root of 1? And you will say 1, you're thinking this number here. Basically, what a square root means is what number by itself, when I times it by itself, is going to be equal to 1. So that I do blah times blah, that has to be the same number, is equal to 1. So you're saying 1. Now, a square root of 4, what number when I times it by itself is equal to 4? So the answer is 2. What is the square root of 9? The answer is 3. What is the square root of 16? The answer is 4. What is the square root of 25? The answer is 5. What is the square root of 36? The answer is 6. What is the square root of 49? The answer is 7. So you see, what is the square root of 64? 8. What is the square root of 81? 9. What is the square root of 100? 10. What is the square root of 121? 11. What is the square root of 144? 12. Okay? Wonderful. So that's square roots. Now, when we're doing cube numbers, I'm going to do it here to the side. So when I'm going to cube numbers, we already said that 1 cube is equal to 1. 2 cubes is equal to 8. 3 cubes is equal to 27. 4 cube is equal to 64. And 5 cube is going to be equal to 125. If I do 10 cube, we said that it was equal to 1,000. Okay, wonderful. So let's do exactly the cube root is going to be the inverse operation of cubing. So exactly the same of what we just did here. So we're going to go backwards here. So what is the cube root? And look that I have to do a little 3 here to say that it's cube. When I don't have anything, it's assumed that it's a square root. If I have to have something different, then I can do the cube root, put the 3 there. We can do the 4th cube root, but that's different. That's another time that we're going to do that. But at the time, if I'm going to do cube root, then I have to put these 3 here. The cube root of 1 is going to be equal to 1. The cube root of 8 is going to be equal to 2, because the cube root of 8 is 2. What is the cube root of 27? Is 3. What is the cube root of 64? Is 4. What is the cube root of 125? Is 5. What is the cube root of 1,000? Is 10. Okay, wonderful. So with this information in our minds, we can do a little bit of some examples here. So one of them that we can do here, let's do this one. So what is the square root of 900? So you say, Miss Ochoa became crazy because we haven't gone thus far. We only have up to 144. But if we break up our numbers, and now we're combining some of the information that we already have, and we're thinking of square roots, so I'm going to try to break it up in the numbers that I have here. Can I break up 900 in factors of these square numbers that I have here? So hopefully you're saying, yes, you can. You can do 9 times 100. So this is equal to 9 times 100. Because I'm timesing, I can say I'm doing the square root of 9 times the square root of 100. And when I do that, what is the square root of 9? Is 3. And what is the square root of 100? Is 10. So this one is going to be equal to 30. Okay? Let's do another one. What is the cube root of 8,000? So again, because we're talking about cube roots, now we're going to go here and look at these cube numbers here that I have. Can I break up 8,000 in any of these cube numbers? And hopefully you're saying, yes, I can. I can do 8 times 1,000. So if I do 8 times 1,000, where am I? Good. Of course you had to do that just to make me angry. Okay, a square root of, cube root of 8 times 1,000. And because I'm timesing inside my cube root, I can say, okay, this is going to be equal to cube root of 8 times cube root of 1,000. Notice that I have sent twice. That is because I'm timesing. If I was adding here, I couldn't take it out or separate it in the way that I just did. It's because I'm timesing here that I can do this. So what is the cube root of 8? It's going to be 2. And what is the cube root of 1,000? Is 10, which means that this is going to be equal to 20. Okay? And if you want to verify this, we can. Let's go to our calculator. And let's do cube root. So how do you do cube root here? You press this, you see this bottom here. So I'm going to do 3 second. There you go. Do you see that this little 3 became here? And then I have my symbol of the root of 8,000. 1, 2, 3. Good. Enter. And you see that the answer is 20. Okay? Wonderful. Now, let's do the other type of exercise that you have here. So when it says, okay, I want to know a squared root of 18 is going to lie between which numbers? Which whole numbers? Between what and what? So again, I have a square root of 18. So we have to go up here and say, okay, a square root of 18 is going to be between the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. Why? Because 18 is between 16 and 25. So I'm going to say, okay, a square root of 18 is going to be between the square root of 16 and the square root of 25. What is the square root of 16? Is 4. What is the square root of 25? Is 5. So that will give us our answer here, okay? Now let's go and do this one. The cube root of 121 is going to lie between which numbers? So again, we're going to do exactly the same process of thinking. So we have to think about this number. This cube root is between which numbers? So if we look up here, we're thinking about 121. So it's going to be between the cube root of 64 and the cube root of 125. So I go here and I say, okay, I know that this one is going to be the cube root of 64 and the cube root of 125. So, and we know that it's going to be closer to this one than to this one, agree? Because we know that 121 is closer to 125. So what is the cube root of 64? So it's 4. And what is the cube root of 125? It's going to be 5. And if we check what is going to be the cube root of 121, let's do it here. So clear, and we go 3, second, this one, wonderful. And we said that we wanted to do 121, enter. So it's 4.9. So as we said, it's going to be very close to 5. There you go. I hope you find this useful, girls.